Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let you praise and thank the praise of Allah Almighty. Secondly, salawat and greetings we are put the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by saying Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Thanks all for watching my video. In this step, let me introduce myself. My name is Nia Fitriani. I am English Education Department in 5E. In this video, I can explain about the topic observation. Thank you to our lecturer, Mr. Nuardi MED, in lecture in this course Research and Development in English Language Teaching. We can see in slide 1 the distance life feature of observation as a research process is that it offers an investigator the opportunity to gather live and data from naturally occurring social situations. There are other attractions in its favor as Robson 2002 1910 says what people do might differ from what they say they do, and observation provides as reality checks. Observation also enables a researcher to look first at everyday behavior that otherwise might be taken from given expects or to another. Observation can be a powerful research tool, but it is not without its difficulties. Finally, on a practical point, some participants may prefer the presence of an observer to an instructive, time-consuming interview or questionnaire. Observation can be of facts such as the number of books in a classroom, the number of students in a class, the number of students who visit the school library in a given period. One can detect here a putative continuum from the observation of uncontestable facts to the research, interpretation, and judgment of situation, which are the recorded as observation. What counts as evidence becomes cloudy immediately in observation, because what we observe depends on when, where, and for how long we look, how many observers there are, and how we look. It also depends on the is taken to be evidence of or a proxy for underlying related concern. What counts as acceptable evidence of unquestionable before in the example above records an operational definition that is valid and reliable. And the next slide is the kind of observation available to the research lie on the continuum from structure, the structure responsive to preordinate. A highly structured observation will know in advance what is looking for preordinate observation, and will have its observation categories worked out in advance. A semi-structured observation will have an agenda of issue but will gather data to evaluate this issue in far less premeditated or systematic manner. An unstructured observation will be far less clear on what is the looking for and will therefore have to go into a situation and observe what is the taking place before deciding on its significance for the research. In a nutshell, a structured observation will already have its hypothesis decided and will use the observation data to confirm or refute this hypothesis. On the other hand, a semi-structured and more particularly a structured observation will be hypothesis generating rather than hypothesizing. The semi-structured and unstructured observation will review observational data before suggestion and explanation for the phenomena being observed. The next is structured observation. We need to quantitative research tend to have a small field of focus fragmenting the observed into minute chunks that can subsequently be aggregated into a variable. In the then qualitative research, on the other hand, draws the research into the phenomenological complexity of participants' works, her situation unfold and connections, causes and correlation can be observed as they occur over time. The qualitative research aims to judge the dynamic nature of events, to see intentionality, to seek trends and patterns over time. Cooper and Schiller, 2001, 175 suggests the first question can be considered along their dimensions. Whether the observation is direct or indirect, the forum recording the presence of the observer, the latter recording the face. Example, video camera, whether the presence of the observer in the known or unknown. Overt or covert research, whether in the research is concluded through a one-way mirror or hidden camera, or partially concluded in the research is seen but now to be research. The research takes a visible role in the school, the role taken by observed participant to non-participant observation discussed below. Numerical data in the term facilitates the making of the comparison between settings and situation, and frequent patterns and trends to be noted or calculated. The observer adopts a passive, non-instructive role, merely noting down the incidence of the factors being studied. Observation are entered an observational schedule. We can see in the step of observation is the event sampling, instantaneous sampling, interval recording, rating scales, duration recording, and consistency of entering by single and multiple observers. This last point is the important for it goes to the very heart of the notion of validity. Since it requires research to certify themselves, then it is valid to infer that the particular before indicates a particular state of mind or particular intention or motivation. The desire to operationalize concepts and constructs can easily lead research to provide simple indicators of complex concepts. In planning observation, one has to consider the following in when, where, how, and what the observed, how much degree of structure are necessary in the observation, the duration of the observation varied in the timing and nature of the observation, and needed for the to be an opportunity to observe. In the last conclusion is the observation placed to the observer into the moral domain, that it is insufficient simply to describe observation as a non-intrusive, non-intervention teaching technique, and thereby to abrogate responsibility for the participant involved. Like other forms of data collection in human science, observation is not a morally neutral enterprise. Observers, like other research, have obligation to participants as well as the research community. This is for me. I'm sorry for the mistake. Let's I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.